How do you measure your progress with the MAF method? In this video, I'm going to talk about how you do it with the MAF test. Hi there, Branton Valley Runner here. Now if you're doing the MAF method, you're going to want a way to measure your progress to find out whether you're getting better, staying the same, or regressing in your training. And the way you do that is with something called the MAF test. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what it is and how you do it. Okay, so the MAF test is designed to measure your aerobic fitness over a given distance or given time. Now I do mine over distance, and I've got a 5-mile loop that I do here down Branton Valley Way each time I do the MAF test. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing it by time or distance. The goal of the test is still the same, it's to find out whether your aerobic fitness has improved since last time you did the test. And MAF Time recommends that you do it every 3 or 4 weeks. I normally do mine monthly. I'm due one today actually, so I'll be doing that in a bit. And to do the test, you need to find somewhere flat. So a racetrack would be ideal for this. However, I've not got one around here, so I use Branton Valley Way. And the route that I use is pretty flat. There's an incline at mile 4 and a decline at mile 5. But I take that into account when I'm doing the test and looking at my results. And you also need to try and make sure that the conditions that you do the test in are consistent. For example, try and do it at the same time of day. And if you can, try and do it under the same type of weather conditions. However, this isn't always going to be possible, and just do the best you can really. And if you really want consistent conditions, then you could use a treadmill, but that's not for me. I'm going to go and do my MAF test now, and afterwards we'll have a look to see how I got on, and we'll also talk about the factors that may influence whether you improve or not with your MAF test results. Okay, so let's go and do this. Okay, so mile 1 done, and I've got to mention before at the start of the video that before you start doing your MAF test, you should make sure you do a decent warm-up to get your heart rate level up to about 10 beats below your MAF heart rate. Okay, so just past mile 2 there, and on my watch I just have distance and heart rate showing. And the reason for this is it means I'm not worrying about how fast I'm going, although I'm going faster than my last MAF test. Okay, so just past the 3-mile mark, so I'm on to mile 4 now, which is uphill, so it'll be my slowest mile of the route normally. And that's where it should be, it should get slow as you go along, as your aerobic fitness decreases, as your heart gets more tired. But on this route for me, like I said earlier, my final mile is normally a bit faster than my 4th, because it's going downhill a bit. When doing the MAF method, I do find that sometimes I have to walk, especially on the inclines. The thing is though, as you progress with the method, you find that you're walking less and running more, and you're getting faster at your MAF heart rate. Okay, so it starts at mile 5 now, so coming towards the end of the test, and this is the downhill bit. Okay, so I've had a chance to have a look at the results now. I just finished the MAF test, and they improved by 1 minute. And I'll put the results on the screen so you can have a look if you want. And yeah, I am pleased, but at the same time a bit disappointed. It's 5 weeks since I did my last test, so it's a little bit longer than recommended. And I was expecting a bit more of an improvement, so I've sort of picked up my training really since then. I've done 100 miles in a month challenge in February. I'll link that up if you can have a look at that. And so they were all done on MAF training aerobic miles. And so yeah, I was expecting maybe a little bit more of an improvement than that. but I shouldn't really be too disappointed because an improvement is an improvement. And also, because I picked up the miles in February, doing the 100 miles in 21 days, there's a chance that I may have done a bit of overtraining there, and that can also affect your results, and maybe a reason why I don't improve as much as I was expecting. So other things that may affect your MAF test result include stress, maybe on some new medication, perhaps being ill, or maybe not being getting enough sleep. And also, another big factor is nutrition. And I'll talk a bit about nutrition in my next MAF video, and specifically how you can tweak it to get better results with the MAF method, and also the 2-week test that Phil Maffetone recommends. Okay, so I've got my first race coming up on Sunday, and I've got another race coming up towards the end of March. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects my MAF test results when I do my next MAF test in March. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can check that video out when I release it, when I do my next MAF test. Okay, so if you like this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to my channel for more regular running related content, and also more about the MAF method. And also, share it with your friends. Check me out on social media, because I'm on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and the links to them will be in the description below. And if you want to read further about the MAF test and the MAF method, then check out his book. I'll link that in the description below as well. Okay, bye now.